I was supposed to be focused, but suddenly there I was, deep down on the internet, learning about penguin dating. And if you've been through something like this, congratulations, you're also fluent in advanced procrastination. But calm down, it's not just you. There is a reason, or better, several, for us to escape from the tasks that matter most. And today I'll show you why we really procrastinate, how to stop sabotaging ourselves, and yes, how even procrastination can become your ally. So hold on tight, because the truth about your productivity, or lack of it, is about to be revealed and can completely change the way you deal with your time, your mind, and your to-do lists. Have you ever sat in front of the computer, opened that super important file, and suddenly found yourself searching how penguins choose their partners? It is. The mind of people has a special talent to escape exactly what we know we need to do. By the way, I should be recording this video now. But before I went to have coffee, then I remembered that I needed to wash the dishes. Then I decided to reorganize my digital and mental files. And when I saw it, I was watching a video about how to build a house with peat bottles in the desert. Why? Because the brain, this dear one, loves an interesting detour. And have you got into that cycle too? You wake up with that energy. Today I'll do everything on my list. But then it starts with a coffee, then a scroll, a notification, and when you notice, the day has passed, and the task that really mattered, well, she's still there, intact, intimidating, staring at you as if to say, "Are you really going to leave me for later?" Again. And we leave. Again. At this point, I have come to a conclusion that you may also have suspected. Procrastination is not an occasional visit. It is practically a co-worker of those who do nothing but are always around. But why do we do it? Why, even knowing what needs to be done, we postpone? Why do we act as if tomorrow is the official day of world productivity? Calm down, the answer is already coming. But first, let me tell you something curious. Did you know that the name of this habit, yes, even that which delays your life, already carries in its own sound the promise of postponement? Procrastination comes from the Latin pro, which means forward, and aptus, which means tomorrow. In other words, play for tomorrow what should clearly be done today. It is not lack of beautiful name, it is excess of delayed intention. But here's a revelation that may make you less guilty. Procrastination is older than your grandmother. Older than the idea of Monday. Back in ancient Greece, the philosopher Hesiod already warned, and with all the letters, do not delay what needs to be done, neither for tomorrow nor for later. And Seneca, the Stoic who seemed to have a Twitter account with only shocking phrases, wrote, "While we waste time hesitating and delaying, life passes." That is, even the wisest thinkers in the world were already tired of seeing people fooling around. The difference is that they did not have Wi-Fi to blame. And this raises an interesting question. If procrastination is something so old, is it really the cell phone, or is there something deeper inside our mind? Stay with me, because the answer may surprise you. Now let me ask a controversial question. Is all coiling procrastination? Or do we sometimes just need to rest? Yes, there is a huge and unjustly ignored difference between procrastinating, resting, and being lazy. And knowing this can change the way you deal with your own mind. Resting, for example, is like restarting a crashed computer. It is necessary, strategic, intelligent. Your body and mind need to stop so they can continue. And no, rest is not wasting time. Domenico De Masi, an Italian sociologist with the name of artisanal ice cream, talks about this creative idleness. According to him, it is in this free time, away from pressure, that the best ideas are born. In other words, that pause to look at the ceiling may be more productive than it looks. Now, laziness is another talk. Laziness is when you don't want to do it, and that's okay. You don't even try to fool yourself. You don't hide. It is honest even. I will not, do not want, do not count me, but procrastination, then it is psychological torture. You want to do, know what you should do, even think about how to do it, but simply do not. And worse, feel guilty for it. It is not lack of desire. It's like something inside you pulls the handbrake every time you try to accelerate. And the question that remains is, what is this something? Why do we stop just when it's time to act? Well, take a deep breath, because now we will dive into the root of the problem. Come with me. Okay, so if procrastinating is not laziness nor lack of wanting, what's happening to us? The truth is that behind this seemingly innocent habit, there is an invisible battle between what we should do and what we would like to feel. Think with me. How many times have you left a task for later because just thinking about it already gave a little squeeze on the chest? A mixture of boredom, fear, doubt, and a little bit of panic? Yes. Procrastinating is most often an act of emotional escape. We run away from what causes us discomfort. Are you afraid to fail? Better not even start. Are you stressed with a difficult task? Better open TikTok and forget about life. Talk to the bank manager, take that exam, solve a problem with someone. Better wash the dishes for the third time in the day. It's almost an art, right? But it doesn't stop there. There is another villain hidden in this story, the one of immediate reward. Your brain loves dopamine, and guess where he finds it quickly? In short videos, notifications, infinite scroll, random memes, and colorful dots that explode when you fit 3 of the same. I know you know what I'm talking about. It's as if your brain says, why should I suffer now with a report if I can gain instant pleasure in 15 seconds? And if you have ADHD, this challenge is even greater. Focus, organization, and starting tasks can seem like mountains, and any stimulus becomes a tempting detour. But all this has a cost. Constantly procrastinating can generate a toxic cycle. Guilt, frustration, stress, and in the long run can evolve into anxiety, depression, insomnia, and even heart problems. Yes, the heart feels. The overworked mind becomes a sick body. So if procrastination seems harmless, it's only because the bill has not yet arrived. But the good news? There are ways to deal with this. And no, none of them involve superhuman willpower or magic formulas. Want to know how? Come with me. Okay, now that we have understood what procrastination is, why it happens, and the damage it can cause, the question worth a productivity Nobel is, how to get out of this cycle? And before you think, oh, it's just having more willpower, let me tell you a secret. Willpower is overrated. It works like cell battery, starts full, but drains throughout the day. Therefore, the solution is not to fight against procrastination with internal cries. It is to use science, strategy, and above all, kindness to yourself. First, self-compassion. If you blame too much, it only keeps you further in the cycle. The phrase, I am a disaster, does not help anyone get out of bed. Treat your mind as you would treat a friend, with empathy, patience, and encouragement. Second, emotional motivation. Do because you have to do does not work. Now, when you connect the task with something that really matters to you, like, I'm going to finish this project because I want to have more time with my family, the motivation stops being an obligation and becomes a purpose. Third, break tasks. Big goals intimidate. Small steps, no. Instead of writing a book, how about writing a paragraph? Start small, ridiculously small if necessary. In fact, just starting changes everything. There is a phenomenon called Zeigarnik effect. It says that the brain hates unfinished tasks, so once you start, it wants to continue. In other words, the act of starting already creates momentum. Another essential point, set deadlines. But not that until the end of the month, vague. Delimit blocks of time like today from 10 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. I will just move on this project. Simple, direct, and realistic. And for this, there is a technique that saves lives. The Pomodoro technique. 25 minutes of focus, 5 rest, and then repeat. Short enough for you to think can hold, and long enough to make progress. Oh, and no multitasking. Your brain is not a computer with multiple tabs open. It's more like a single window that crashes when you try to do everything at once. If you can, eliminate distractions. Yes, this includes the mobile phone, only after finishing this video, of course. And finally, reward yourself. Your brain loves a carrot at the end of the effort. Have you finished the task? Give yourself a moment of pleasure, rest, or even that sweet. Dealing with procrastination is less about winning a war and more about creating an environment where the action seems light, possible, and even tasty. But what if I told you that even procrastination can be used to your advantage? Do you doubt it? Now hold this. What if I told you that procrastination can be a strategy? Yes, you didn't read it wrong. There is a way to use procrastination in your favor, and the name of that is structured procrastination. Works more or less like this. You know, when you're running away from a super important task, but instead of scrolling feed or cleaning the fridge, you do another task also useful, only less scary. That's right. Congratulations. You just applied structured procrastination without knowing. This technique was proposed by John Perry, a philosopher who also tired of blaming himself for delaying everything. He realized that it was possible to trick the brain using smaller tasks as a shield. Instead of fighting the urge to avoid something, you direct that urge to other productive activities. For example, do not want to write that report? Fine. We'll answer emails, organize your files, arrange your desk. Still rolling, but at least it's doing something. It's like you say to your mind, okay, let's not face the dragon now, but how about taming some kittens first? And in the end, when you see everything flowing, it ends up creating courage to face what you were avoiding from the beginning. In other words, it is not about eliminating procrastination from your life, but learning to live with it in a more intelligent, gentle, and strategic way. After all, if she is going to appear anyway, at least help, right? Now tell me here in the comments, what was the insight you took from this video, and if it made you reflect. Take the opportunity to send to someone who needs to implement some of these habits too, and stop procrastinating. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Every day has new video to remind you of what you are capable. Let's build together a more productive and functional life. Until the next video.